Well, good afternoon, California seismograph fans. Actually, it's still just morning, so good morning. And for those in other parts of the world, good day. We were in Missouri for the last couple of weeks, and we just got back, and now we are reporting on a rather violent earthquake that hit right off or right by the coast, because it was first placed within the ocean, but it now seems like USGS has given us that it is just about 50 miles inland. This is a 7.6. It's now a 7.6 categorized, which is a violent earthquake. And we're going to show you a little bit of our recordings. The one here in California is set to a really low CNS. And the moment we saw that and brought that CNS up a little bit, as a matter of fact, didn't notice, but that needle right away shot off the side of the drum. I'll show you that in a little bit. But let's go to our eGraph in Missouri. That eGraph picked this up just beautifully. There we go. And we'll drop down. It's just about an hour ago that this happened, and the eGraph picked this up just fantastically. This graph takes off slow, but that's obviously because of the distance, which we will look at in a little bit together. This is actually a just fantastic graph of the P wave coming through right now, and it will top out, and we'll see later on into the graph the S waves, and so well the surface waves coming up. And if you remember, we had a very good example of that with the 8.1 quake in Alaska that gave us a similar beautiful setup of how the initial P wave coming through, then the S waves that we see throughout that picture of time, and then we'll see a pause almost, it looks like, before the S waves arrive, and we'll see a very clear difference of the graph, how that is created by the needle. The needle moves very slowly, even with the P wave. This is a very slow P wave needle movement, or as a matter of fact, these are the S wave. P wave is right here up the front. So, but it's a rather violent earthquake. This was about 360 miles away from the capital city, or I did that calculation just before they relocated this epicenter. So it's probably a little closer to Mexico, around at 310, 320 miles away from the capital city in Mexico. So that is rather far for it to be severe there, and that's a good thing. However, there are quite a few cities obviously on the coast and rather close enough by to have a severe impact of this major quake. So this is the trail end that you see happening now on the S waves of this rather large quake. You can see also all the raspberries picking this up very clearly everywhere throughout Missouri. These are all different raspberries that we have on the bottom there. Obviously you don't see nothing outside here. It's just very quiet. This quake looks rather large on the screen, but that's because the instrument, the seismometer hooked up to this eGraph, is set to a very high sensitivity, which is around almost 10,000. I think it's 9,500, and that is rather sensitive. So we'll speed through this together real quick, and we'll see that this tails off here very clearly. Nice graph, very clear graph, and if we pull this out, here we see just the S waves, a wind, that is calming. We'll continue this, and then you'll see here the beginning of the S waves coming through, which is just a fantastic needle movement to watch how the S waves make such a different movement on this eGraph. Just is so relaxed almost, real slow, methodical, going up and down, and a total different wave. You see just that there is a lot more space. It's the surface waves coming through here, and they are so far different, as you can tell, than the P waves and the S wave. And as you can tell, the motion, and this is really what you see happening here, is so interesting, because the time that we're looking at is the actual time. See, your seconds are ticking as actual seconds. We didn't speed this up. And so I'll grab one of the seismometers here and quickly show what is happening when this seismometer in the ground there is moving up and down. With the P wave, it moves rather fast. It's quite a fast movement. But this S wave, literally, the ground is pushing up like this slowly. The actual movement of the ground is what the movement of the needle reflects it directly. And so if you see this needle go down and sit here still, then the ground has been moved down and stays there a little bit before it comes slowly back up, and then it goes slowly back down. The ground literally does this. Now, you don't feel this. This is not something you can actually stand there and go like, oh, I can notice myself going up and down. That's not the truth. As a matter of fact, the camera there on the right and on the bottom clearly displays that it is just a normal day. Nobody is feeling anything, but the sensor is so sensitive that it can clearly pick up what the ground does, and it reflects that on our eGraph just beautifully. So we're glad you're with us. If you are not familiar to our channel, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this. Our eGraph is located, as a matter of fact, on a live page, a Missouri page, that you can find by typing in California or CA Seismograph Missouri live stream. You can also find it through our stream. If you don't know, you can always get on the chat and ask any of our moderators. They're doing a fantastic job in answering any of your questions. So thank you much. Thumbs up for you guys. Absolutely. Always a great job. We're just continuing to look at these, surface waves coming through on our eGraph in Missouri here. And let's look together at what this distance is, as this is continuing for quite a while. Here is the actual earthquake. So this is the 7.6 as USGS is given it to be now. It just is, they actually had it located in the ocean, but they relocated this. The epicenter is right here on land. But we'll look at the distance to Mexico City here together. The quake happened right at Colima there. We'll measure the distance and bring that to Mexico City, which should be about 300 miles. Yeah, 290 miles away. So my estimate is that definitely they felt this, a lot of people probably in Mexico City, but they probably don't have severe damage of this quake. Now let's go and bring this up to here to Missouri. We are right underneath St. Louis there, which shows us over 1,500 miles away, 1,500 miles away. And yet that is being picked up very well at our eGraph there in High Ridge. So that is definitely more, this distance, than the distance here to our seismograph right over here, which is only 1,300 miles, 13 and a half, about 1,350 miles away. So it's a little less. Anyway, guys, if you enjoy it and you want to help out, you certainly can. We have several dozens of volunteers already with California Seismograph. We have a very fantastic group that works together closely. Every week we have a meeting and we get together on how to make our site better. So if you would like to be part of that, doing something for the site, and it could be anything from moderator, but also technical things. We have several technical people that help out on a daily basis here. So give us a shout out. If anything, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, hit that bell, then you get notifications like these when earthquakes occur, and we make a little video clip on that. I just am so glad that you guys are with us today. I'm glad to be back here in Southern California myself. So, okay, with that said, have a great week, and we'll see you soon again. God bless.